This month, the Canadian government will be doing an in-depth parliamentary review on the new Veterans Charter. We spoke to Gary Foster, service officer at the Royal Canadian Legion, who served in the Canadian Forces for 28 years as a war officer. Foster was injured during his service, injuries for which he still requires medication and aid.
I've got several injuries. I've got a hearing disability, which was on the old plan, so I'm getting a monthly payment for that. My hearing aids are covered for life. My batteries are covered for life, so I'm very happy about that moving forward. And I was able to finally prove to my wife that it wasn't selective hearing, so that was a good thing.
Foster's medications are covered under the old Pension Act, but an in-depth review by the Veterans Ombudsman Guy Perron indicates that the new Veterans Charter will fail new veterans with injuries. Because of this, the Harper government has been pressured to do a parliamentary review on the living document to make necessary changes. Foster thinks the new charter works for some and not for others. One aspect of the charter, the lump sum payment, is a source of controversy. It is a one-time payment like a worker-style compensation where new veterans would receive lump sum awards and allowances. This replaced the pension-style payments of the old Pension Act.
I'm not fond of the lump sum payment. I know that's sort of a catchphrase. Everyone doesn't like that. But I just don't like the lump sum payment in the fact that some of the younger veterans might not disperse that appropriately. They might spend it a little earlier, and even though they're given additional funds for financial counseling, which I do think is a good thing, I still don't think sometimes that the lump sum is spent adequately, and then when they get to the age where they need it, those funds might not be available to them.
The new Veterans Charter replaced the Pension Act in 2006. However, many veterans and the Veterans Ombudsman believe that the level of financial support is inadequate. The Pension Act focused on compensation as opposed to the new Veterans Charter, which claims to focus on wellness and rehabilitation.
That's my biggest hope is that the severely ill and injured soldiers, both mentally and physically, are taken care of. If we can get the charter, the living charter, moving that way, in that direction to improve for those personnel, that'd make me happy.
The Royal Canadian Legion is a community that serves veterans and assists them with their life after service. The Legion and 17 other veterans groups sent a letter to the Veterans Affairs Minister Jillian Fantino back in May asking for a parliamentary review, but never heard a reply. They have been asking for a review every 2 years since 2008.
And we want to make sure that veterans, if they are injured in the line of duty, they are looked after for the rest of their life.
Ray McInnes, deputy officer at the Legion, served in the Canadian Forces for 34 years. In the last 8 years, he worked with military families. McInnes would like to see the earnings loss benefit continue until death.
And we have a lot of veterans who are going to live longer than age 65, hopefully, so they're not going to have that financial insurance after age 65.
The Charter is a government initiative to help veterans in a variety of aspects of their lives once they return home after serving overseas. The Legion says it is the government's responsibility to take care of the veterans.
I'm a firm component that if the Army broke them, the Army should fix them, and all our soldiers should be taken care of.
John Adrian Delicano, Capital News, Ottawa.